Good morning, everybody. It's already towards the end of August, and although we're still summer, fall is in the air. And today, I don't know, we're going to be current, but a little bit back in time when an old pal, not in age, just a number of years we've known each other, Corky Douglass, you may remember him from Tom Louise, but Corky still lives and is well with Milwaukee Tavern, and we thought it would be fun just to get some catch up for all of you. Good morning, Corky.
Hello, Miss Miller. How are you?
I'm fine. Do you have on old racing cars?
Yes, it's in a sort of a play on my dad's Corvette. I have a 58 Corvette that he bought, and this shirt has all those cars on it.
Okay, to our listeners or viewers, totally off the subject, Ron Robinson of Gaetano's told me he bought one of your dad's old cars.
That's very possible. Dad had about 6 old Lincolns. Most of them were the convertibles. Mitten Gates, I don't know, from the Gates family, had one that he sold. It was an aqua blue with light blue interior.
When I remember.
Yeah. And it only had 7 electrical motors to put the top down into the trunk.
Oh, gosh. Well, okay. Totally off the subject. So tell me, Corky, tell me about Milwaukee Tavern. First of all, where it is, what it is, because I'll bet you there are still some of our viewers who have no clue.
Well, it occupies a space right at the corner of 2nd Avenue and Milwaukee, garden level in Cherry Creek North. It's been a restaurant in that area since the very late 1980s. Used to be Legends with Armando's Pizza. And I joined a group of owners that are longtime Denver restaurant people back in 2005. And we rebirthed it as the Milwaukee Street Tavern.
And what is Milwaukee Street Tavern? Tell me about it.
It in Cherry Creek North, for those that aren't aware, it's a every man, every woman's type of restaurant and bar. We're a hospitality bar for a lot of the young people that are in that business over in Cherry Creek. But we're very accessible. It's house homemade food, priced right. You can still get a PBR there during happy hour for $3.50. So it fits a price point and niche in Cherry Creek that isn't very available.
So you have all sorts of sandwiches and salads.
The menus broader than you think. Yeah, I mean, we do everything from a chimichurri steak sandwich and salad to a really good takeoff on jambalaya. There's, mac and cheese. We've got ceviche. We have a fabulous house-made meatball recipe that we use. There are sandwiches. I think the premier one is the Cubano, or maybe the grinder, and 5 or 6 salads that balance out the menu. So something for just about everybody's taste. We make a homemade soup every day. The feature, the special of the day is usually around $10 or $11. So it's
so I can have dinner for more cheaper than I could go to McDonald's or go to the grocery store to stay at home.
It's pretty close to that, Pat. Yes.
I can't make dinner at home for $11 just for me.
No, I understand. But we have a lot of fun. It's a bit of a sports bar.
Have a bowling alley.
We have a miniature, what's called from the Midwest, candlelight or duck pin bowling alley on the side that the kids love, and some of the office parties do as well. We're open every day of the week from 11 in the morning until 2 o'clock at night. Come hell or high water, rain, snow, or whatever, we're always there.
What about holidays?
This year we took Christmas Day off, but that was the only one.
Wow, so I didn't know that. So
Well, and we serve dinner until we serve a limited menu until midnight every day.
well, I don't care about that.
Well,
I'm in bed, but that is really nice to know, because when there's a holiday like Labor Day or Thanksgiving, you think there's no place to go.
right. No, we're always there. Limited menu on a Thanksgiving, but that's the only day that's not a full menu.
Well, I believe, is there turkey?
No.
Okay,
No.
now I know. It doesn't matter to me. That is amazing. And I may be mistaken. Don't you have a parking area in the back?
We do. During lunch, it's the lower level. After 5 o'clock, all of the parking area behind the building is available for customers.
Because that's a big thing in Cherry Creek.
You know, everybody struggles with parking. We went out last night and the Cherry Creek area was very, very busy. And if you wanted to park on the street, there was no chance.
Right.
So,
And during the day, there's totally no chance.
well, and don't get me started on the new parking meter system.
They are the ugliest things I have ever seen in my life. We should not be discussing parking meters, but to the public, you should know. You just can't put your money in it. Or you either have to have an app or call some number. And I haven't figured out how they do it now, but it was disgusting.
When we get Councilman Hines on next time, we can discuss it more fully.
I just saw it the other day.
Yeah.
And I didn't know really what is going on.
But and last comment, and I'll drop it. The real problem is that now that the meter, there's just a pole there.
Right.
The definition of the space where you can park is very unclear.
Oh, that's really true. I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
I was so upset that I went and parked on the side street
Mhm.
because I thought if I get out of the car with whatever that is, I'm going to get a ticket. So
I'm going to stop there. The Cherry Creek Business Improvement District in parking revenue and tickets, it's a staggering amount of dollars. Staggering.
And
Over
I think
$20 million.
Oh, and I think it's a staggering mess.
It's not everybody's favorite.
No. Anyway, then you in what year? I mean, I remember, oh my gosh, Tom Louise, nobody has forgotten Tom Louise. And oh, what a treat when you got to go.
Well, it was a wonderful run that we enjoyed. I say that as we, the customer and the staff and myself. It wasn't work. We enjoyed being there and entertaining and seeing our friends. And it was a nice community.
It was entertainment.
Say again, Pat?
It was entertainment along with high-end gorgeous food.
Yeah. Good time.
What years was that?
1972 to 2005, 34 years.
Wow. And always dressed. I mean, now nobody gets dressed. And it was very service oriented. I mean, tell your thoughts between then and now.
Well, there are certain cities, I think, still in the world where that level of attention to detail in decor, setting, table setting, service still exists. I mean, the Paris's, the Romes, the Monte Carlos, etc. All of the great European cities still do that. Today, it has relaxed a great deal. I think the quality, the technique and the variety of foods that are available are certainly better than they were back then. But there isn't that sense of comfort, I guess, that you are being waited on. You are being addressed and taken care of, and hopefully what you anticipate, what you want is anticipated before you have to ask. It's there and provided for you.
Well, you just used an expression as I'm listening to you, waited on. I would never even think of saying waited on nowadays. You know, there's staff and there's server and there's service. But
Well,
I don't feel like people are waited on, like in Europe or someplace, or like in the days of Tom Reeves.
I agree, Pat. And it's not for everybody. Today's moves so much differently than it did before. I think people are looking for different experiences culinarily and from an atmosphere standpoint than they were before.
Okay, can you get servers and chefs and things? I mean, Milwaukee Tavern, to me, I relate it to upscale gourmet, not fast food, but that price range. But can you even get help anymore as you did that?
We're very fortunate there. The history of that location, the history of the ownership has had a number of people that have stayed with the restaurant and the location and have grown in their roles. Our general manager, Desiree, has been with Dave Keefe at Brooklands and now over at Milwaukee Street Tavern for almost 28 years.
Oh, wow. Good.
And we've got, I've got a handful of people that have been with us that are over 10 or 15 years. And that's just a bar. So we've been fortunate. Kitchen staff hasn't turned over in 11 years. So
You are very.
Well,
I think we better plan an outing.
Yeah, it works both ways. We take care of them and they take care of us.
Well, I'm ready for an outing to Milwaukee Tavern, I'll tell you.
Yeah, thank you.
Seriously, we're going to make a date. And I mean, I'll bet you in this day and age, you even accommodate people's dietary needs and such.
We do a very good job of that. We're not very vegan friendly. We can manage it, but unfortunately, that's not in our wheelhouse right now.
I understand that very much. But if somebody's gluten-free or keto or any of that,
we can work around it. You bet. Absolutely.
Good for you. And then you brought up the difference of the years when you said to me this morning, share our strength. And I had to look it up to see when it started, the charities that we've always done.
Right. And Pat, I'm a little bit older. We're both a little bit further down the road.
Yeah.
My father was a zealot for being around young people that kept him young.
He was a real playboy, honey.
Yeah, I'm struggling identifying with what's going on right now with the young people. We're sitting at a little restaurant in Cherry Creek, just at the bar, which is normally where my wife Kelly and I are. And these three very young, not young, they're probably just 30-ish, attractive women come in and sit down. And no one got off their phone.
Well, that's, yes.
And I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, I see it at the Milwaukee Tavern.
I find that appalling. I think the kids have a lot of issues, and I think a lot of it stems. I always say, are they calling each other instead of talking to each other because they're always talking on the phone? Right.
And Pat, this is old fashioned, but you know what? I came to the dinner table or we went out. I had a coat and tie on and I sat in my chair and I finished my dinner. And if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I said to my parents, may I be excused? And they said, yes. So it's different. Life changes, things move on. I haven't caught up yet. Let's put it that way.
Well, it is very different. It really is. I mean, I see it a lot because I still go every place. And I find a big distraction is the phone. I mean, I use the phone to take pictures. So my
Right.
phone is out, but there's lots of not only kids, but very much with the kids.
I don't have that much to say.
Well, make it up. But it is very different. It's much more casual. And I think parts of the service I really enjoy because they do interact. Where years ago, servers could not, they anticipated your needs, but they didn't interact with you.
Right. And we had a set course of how a meal should proceed from the moment that someone was seated. Oftentimes, I question the larger chains and the larger restaurants who have young, attractive, I'm sure that they're competent people at the door greeting you, but there's no interchange there. There's
Right.
no connection there. They have to go to their tablet or to their schematic layout of the restaurant in order to figure out where you're going to go. And I prided myself on that. I mean, from the standpoint, I used to have a phrase that Mel Masters, there's a voice out of the past, always gave. Whenever Mel walked into a room, he'd always say morning, in that great big English voice. And of course, it wasn't morning, and it got everybody's attention. And I kind of have used that over the years when someone would walk into the restaurant, not good evening, sir, good evening, ma'am, how are you? I'd use some line that would require a response and an engagement. So that was then, and this is now. So we can move on.
Right. Well, now does your server, not your server, does your hostess have a greeting standard at Milwaukee Tavern?
No, that we for a long time we struggled on how we were going to manage the guests as they walked in. And
Okay.
it's whoever sees them first greets them.
Oh, good.
I mean, it could be the bartender because there's not a server right there on the
Right.
floor. It could
Okay,
be
I agree
could
with
be
that.
the expediter that's right by the front door when they walk in. But whoever it is, make sure that they're greeted. Make sure that they understand what, if you have an interest or you want a place that you can go and get it, we'll be right with you.
Great. Okay. Do you take reservations?
No,
Okay.
no,
And there's no call ahead either.
no. If you had a party of, say, 8 or more, we would be happy to take a call and try to set space around for you.
Okay. No, I'm just saying this so the public might want to stop
Right.
in.
No, and we have walk-in parties. Being in that hotel district, there's lots of weddings and after parties. And people are dropping in at, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night with 15 and 20 people.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah.
I'd be fast asleep. And your hours are 11?
11 in the morning until 2 o'clock at night.
And I assume it's lunch and dinner, not brunch on weekends, or is it brunch?
We have a weekend brunch menu, 4 or 5 items, somewhat of the standards. We do breakfast sliders with bacon or with ham and eggs. We do, a breakfast sandwich. We do huevos rancheros, which are delightful. We do a breakfast burrito, and we have bottomless mimosas.
Oh, there you go. You got clients coming. You got guests right now.
I'm not sure how that goes, but I've never participated.
It's not my thing, but I cannot believe how many people choose where they go for brunch.
Right.
What bottomless thing they're being served.
Right.
And do you have, well, I guess you don't need happy hours because you're always open.
No, we do. We have a happy hour, starts at 3:30 and goes to 6:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
With drinks and food?
Both. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what else don't I know that I'm trying to find out about?
You know,
that?
Pat, I, I, I think this breadth of the menu is what I would stress, meaning the 4 or 5 salads that we have. I mean, they can be made with chicken, they can be made with chuck tender steak, they can be made with shrimp. So there's something there for everybody. It's the jambalaya, it's the meatballs, it's the ceviche that add a little something different. We make a great hamburger.
Okay,
But that's not where I'm putting our food process.
well, I don't know that you should, because I think hamburgers, including I love them, are a big,
They
I mean,
are,
I see them now that they're up to 20 some odd dollars for a hamburger.
well, you can still get a 1/3 pound Milwaukee Street burger with a side and a cheese selection for $9.50.
Oh, okay, I know where I have to go. I have to come and I can bring all my kids.
And Pat, I'm going to throw one other thing in there that we don't harp on, but I think we make the best tacos in Cherry Creek.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. No, I mean, we hand do our own barbacoa, we hand do our own carnitas. All of those things, are cooked right in house, and they're marinades for our steak, and all of those things are recipes that we've proven. And
Wow.
they're good. They're very good.
So I'm not going in to, excuse me, Red Robin. I'm going into a really good restaurant.
Well, I take pride in what we do food wise. I take
I'm
pride
not
in what we-
saying, I'm not comparing it to Top
No.
Wheel. I'm saying for what it is. Now tell me, just before we run out of time, about, I know you have great beer and all of that. Do you have wine, mixed drinks and all that too?
just like our hours, Pat, we've got it all.
So do you have more than one wine
Oh,
selection?
yes. Yeah. We have a wine feature every month. We have 4 whites, 4 reds.
Okay,
You can get a glass of our house Chardonnay for $6.
no, you can't.
Oh, yeah, yes, you can. And that's Pat, that's a 6.5 ounce pour. It's a real pour. It's not, we don't cheat you on that.
I am hysterical.
16 taps, all the bells and whistles in booze. I mean, talk about an industry that's evolved.
Beer?
Well, beer, wine,
Oh,
liquor. How many vodkas are there now? The only thing that can compete with vodkas are tequilas. Maybe there's more tequilas than there are vodkas.
I don't know, because I laugh when these people need a list of the different vodkas or bourbons before they can have a drink. I
Right.
don't really know how these, I'm sure they know the difference. I don't.
Well, let me put it this way. I think drink menus are fun, and we have a drink menu. We've got about 5 or 6 cocktails that we handcrafted. A couple of them are named after old clients of mine at the Taunt Louise. I've got Dr. Ben Galloway as an old fashioned, but I know what I want when I go out. I mean, if I say I want this whiskey and they don't have it, then I say, do you have this whiskey? And if they don't have it, then I say the next whiskey. I don't need a list. So
Good for you. So, I mean, right now, I don't have kids, but do you have a kids menu as well, I assume?
we adjust what we have. We have a great mac and cheese that we can do for them. We've got chicken tenders that we do with either panko or beer battered, and all of those type of items. The sliders that we have, the small hamburgers, all of those things work for kids. Yeah.
Now it's only early morning, but I'm very hungry.
Good for you. You always are. That's good.
Okay, tell me again, name, hours, phone number, website, everything we need to know.
Okay. Milwaukee Street Tavern, corner of 2nd Avenue in Milwaukee, Cherry Creek North. We are available as on the web. It's just the name completely spelled out, MilwaukeeStreetTavern.com. You can order online. We partner with DoorDash as our delivery service if you want that. If you live within a mile radius, it's $5.75 for you to have your meal delivered.
Oh,
You have parking behind the restaurant down below, and during the evening, there's a great deal of parking.
and you're open every day, all day.
Every day, 11 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning.
And how often will I find you there?
Normally, they only allow me in during the days. I don't think they think I'm a great threat. And, you know, Pat, you know, my partners, I mean, the people
yeah.
I'm involved with, there's 4 other partners, and between the 5 of us, when we started this, we said, well, we've got 220 years of restaurant experience. How can anything go, you know, how can we go wrong? As it turns out, of course, we're all individual monkeys, if you will, but you know, it's a good group. They're all Denverites. They all appreciate Denver and have great history in Denver. So it's fun to keep that tradition going.
Well, I can hardly wait. And I want everybody who is going to see this to please like and subscribe to the Gabb on YouTube to get this visit and all our others. And you'll find this visit with Corky Douglass, not only on YouTube, but on Instagram, Facebook. It's just all over the place. And what a delight to spend some time with you this morning.
Let's go have lunch.
Okay, but can I pick the next place?
Of course.
You have to pick me up, but I want to go to Milwaukee Tavern. Seriously.
We can make that happen.
Okay, I am ready. And then I'm bringing my kid.
Enjoyed it, Pat. You have a great morning. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you. Much love to a very favorite.
Back to you.
Old in quotation marks, friend, and everybody else. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.